back to 3/4 of the Knife Nuts podcast. Jake is caught in a time warp somewhere, and we don't know what's happening. He's reaching out to us from the beyond. Yeah,
hold on, I have to queue up time warp right now.
Oh, do we have time warp again? Do we have time warp again?
Hey, I did not expect that. I didn't expect there to be that many Rocky Horror fans on this podcast. Okay, I don't need to queue it up.
Yeah.
All right.
I dated a girl who made a.
Yeah. Tell us all about that.
Don't say.
Tell us all about that, Robot Jake.
No way, really? It's that bad?
It's fucked.
Dude, it
Disconnect and reconnect.
Fucked.
And we'll continue with the podcast.
We'll see you in an hour.
We'll see you soon, Jake.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, your shit's
That
fucked.
sounded good.
Time warp?
No, he's fucked. I'm kicking him out.
The time warp?
I kicked Jake out. He needs to reconnect. Well, let me set that. This is really funny because Mark Steiner from Mark of the Maker literally DM'd me to tell me that the podcast was sounding so good lately.
Yeah, well, it's no fault of Jake.
See, this is what we take that as a challenge. If anyone compliments us, we need to do the opposite and make it worse.
I agree, just out of pure opposition.
Yeah.
What is happening?
That's me typing to Jake to give him an instruction to reconnect when his shit isn't fucked. In the meanwhile, 2 of the 3 people in here were actually at the show.
Yes.
Is what we should talk about.
Versus sleeping most of the time.
Oh, that's a good point. Jake doesn't probably have a lot to say here anyway.
Yeah. I feel like Brian probably saw more than Jake did.
I don't know. I wasn't there very long. I was there for maybe 4 hours total.
Right.
Yeah. So
before we jump into that, can I get some like merch stuff out of the way?
Yes, get the shilling out of the way.
Yeah, I got a shill. So I have some limited edition T-shirts up on the merch site. So if you go to knifenutspodcast.com and then click merch, it'll take you to our Teespring site. And I just uploaded a bunch of new designs, and some of them have some really weird color combos that I'm only going to do for a very short period of time, including a purple on purple vintage metal tee, which is pretty cool. There's also, for as long as Brian will let me get away with it, there's also the commemorative, the Brian Nadeau commemorative T-shirt, which actually comes in China red, which is perfect for the holiday season. And if you
Ha ha ha
ha.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna have the last laugh because you do it for nothing. Nobody's buying that, so
right.
It's just over the years that 30 seconds of you uploading that photograph over and over is
yeah.
It's just take a year of your life away.
People buy every other design but that one.
Brian's playing the long game.
Of course.
Yeah. Because I think it's kind of because it just says China on it. I think I need to redo it and make it say something like Wiggles.
Oh, you fuck.
You're telling me our patriotic fans don't want to wear the China shirt?
I don't think so. Plus, it's kind of got the Obama thing, which is kind of passe. Was it
Yeah, imagine amongst.
If I said "Make China Great Again" or something, it would be more of the times, don't you think? There's also the Christoph Spazel metal logo available as a hoodie, a pullover, and a T-shirt. That's got some red text. I don't know how long I'm going to keep that one up, but if you use what?
Did you do the coloration on that, or did he do that?
No, I did the coloration and the podcast text.
Ah, it looks good.
Thanks. Yeah,
it looks better than it did without it.
Yeah, I mean that's how logos are. Logos have to work in black and white, and then you can dress them up any way you want. But if you guys use coupon code WIGGLES, you will get free shipping. And on Teespring, that's actually pretty good because I think shipping is pretty expensive.
Yes, and eventually the hosts will get some kind of coupon code so that they can get their own shit for cheap.
That's already there, dude.
Oh, okay. I need to order a bunch of stuff then.
Yeah,
I just paid full price and shipping for mine.
And it's so he refused to put the Wiggles code in because it infuriated him too much.
Hey, he's a man of principle.
Fuck
and
that.
I've told him so many times.
You guys are gonna wish that you didn't get this going around because it's gonna become a thing and it's gonna be a problem.
For who?
From our fans
maker,
wildly
and then you'll be
overdoing
getting shit from everybody.
Oh, everyone's asked about Wiggles.
I don't think anyone's going to ask anybody about Wiggles but you.
Hey, maybe we made it cool.
We've also probably alienated that fan of Brian's work for
Yes.
all time.
He actually did come back and made a comment. Somebody made a comment to him like weeks later, and he did come back and respond to that guy. So, I mean, he's still there. I don't know.
He's still there. I feel a little bad, but it was really fucking funny. So
It was.
if he DMs me, I'll give him a free shirt. It'll be a Brian Nadeau commemorative T-shirt.
So we're going back to a net negative on this.
Yeah. So if that kid, I can't remember his name, but if you DM me, if you actually have listened to this show, I will send you a Brian Nadeau commemorative T-shirt in the color of your choice. But it's
Mr.
probably
Wiggles.
you can have any color you want as long as it's red.
And you know he's gonna like take a video and put on, YouTube of him pissing on it or something.
That would be
Come
great.
on. That would be actually amazing.
You can have any beer as long as it's a Corona.
Yeah.
More
than you can afford, pal.
I have to buy the socks because some of my friends are doing a Yankee swap, and apparently socks was the thing you had to buy.
Oh.
Feel bad for this poor sap that's gonna end up with these fucking knife nut socks.
Did
We
you
have
see the
socks?
We have crew socks.
Yeah, there's crew socks. There's also the new Knife Nuts home collection. I don't know if you guys saw that.
The pillow and the
How about
blanket.
banana hammocks?
No, there's no banana hammocks yet. Teespring is
can't
very inoffensive, so
Boo.
we can't. There's no Knife Nuts thongs or speedos.
Who wants the knife nuts indoor pillow?
One thing,
Condoms with my China face right on the front. That's what I
right,
want.
and it just stretches over the tiny dick. Anyway,
That way, when the guys come up to the show, hey man, I used your rubber. Yeah, I was in your wife. My face was in your wife.
what? It was your face. You mean your face was in
My face
wife.
was in your wife,
Right.
Yucks.
or girl, or whatever.
That was a combination of yike and yucks.
Odd transition. I actually have a lot of requests for women's merch, like
All right.
clothing, and
I
it's
don't
hard for me-
believe that at all.
Believe me, there are at least 4 people.
That's more
that
than I
want
expected.
these. Right. Okay.
Women, get away now, get away from the men that you're with if they're into this. Just move on.
Yeah.
They're into them. Why can't you just understand that women like knives too?
Well, because we were at the New York show, and there was one woman there who was not being dragged along by her boyfriend.
Well, think
one.
about
It's
this
not a
one.
very diverse hobby, guys.
I disagree. Just because they don't think about it, it's like all the people that. Why would they want to go to a show like that?
It is a big sausage fest. This
Yeah,
is very
that's
true.
right. All right, and
Just
think
get
about
gawked
how
at the whole
and
time.
to talk about women
Yeah.
and knives. I find it insulting that people make knives that are supposed to be targeted towards women.
It's silly shit. Yeah.
What the? Why does a knife have to be gender specific? I don't understand.
They
it.
only buy pink knives, right?
Oh my god! Yeah, that is the worst thing in the world.
That's not true.
That is the worst. Or if you go to, you ever go to like Target or something and you go down, you need to get like a tool or something, and they have like a section with like just a toolbox that's pink, and they have a woman on there holding a hammer. Like what?
And it's $15 more than
It's
the same
$15
exact
more.
one. That's
Yeah, that shit worked in the 60s. I don't think we need to sell women-exclusive things.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
Yeah.
But I digress. My point being is that I need to know what stuff is good and what stuff is not good on the Teespring site, because I've bought a lot of the men's T-shirts and stuff, and I know which ones are decent and which ones kind of suck.
Are we talking about 100% Gildan, 100% cotton Gildan shirts? Because those shirts suck.
I call those short fats.
They're the worst.
They are the worst shirts in the world. Do you know that horrendous shirt that it's not a horrendous shirt, but it's for the band,
yeah.
Horrendous, that Elijah got me? That was like one of the best band shirts I've ever got.
Was it not on 100%
It's not on
cotton
It's not on
Gildan?
100% Gildan. Not, yeah, it's not good. It's very good.
Yeah, no.
I've washed it more than once, and it's still not a midriff. Yeah, so
I went on this long rant about how much I hate 100% cotton Gildan shirts to my girlfriend, and she had bought me one and was like, okay, I guess I can't give it to you anymore.
the ones that are currently on there are 100. The ones that the Knife Nuts ones are, I think, 100% cotton, but they are not Gildan, and
Yeah.
they are decent.
This is so far in the weeds, but there are good 100% cotton shirts. If they're like pre-washed cotton and they're soft and stuff and they
Yeah,
don't shrink.
that's what they are. That's what these are.
All right.
So the reason I moved to those specifically is to keep the cost like under $30 for a fucking
Yeah, this
t-shirt.
shit is nuts.
2, because most of the knife community are round boys, so
Can't disagree with that.
So we need up like 3X and up. so now we have extra small all the way to 5X.
We don't sell a lot of those schmediums. Just to me, Tim, and Elijah.
Right. You guys are the only medium people in the knife community.
Yeah. Seriously. All right. Well, that was good. That was a good plug for our merch. That was like 10 straight minutes of shilling. So
yeah, I'm sorry. I hope it was entertaining.
Go buy it so that we can have Christmas. Yeah. Otherwise, our families will starve.
Christmas is ruined. Yeah, seriously.
Should
yeah. Let's get into the meat of today's topic. I wonder where Jake is though.
I don't know.
His computer is still shutting down.
Let's just talk about the times where he was asleep so that he doesn't actually have anything to contribute. Then when we get back, we'll talk about the parts where he was present.
I will tell you that it was immensely convenient having the room in the venue.
Yes.
Having the hotel room in the venue.
Yes.
Especially since my back has been fucked. So I was able to like escape for like 15 minutes and come back down.
But there's only so long you just want to stand there in the room because like you can see all the knives relatively quickly, and I'll admit I didn't actually see like 90% of the knives.
I didn't see all the knives either. There were makers there that I found out were there after I got home.
Yeah, but it is nice being able to escape. I mean, it's a room with no windows that you're in for, 8 hours straight. So yeah, definitely do the hotel at the venue. Or the venue at the hotel, whatever. Do that. It was worth it.
Don't do it when I did it because...
Yeah, you got butt fucked on the price.
Well, it's because we were on like a really swanky floor.
Yeah, I was not on a swanky floor.
No
good
good whatsoever, yeah.
Yeah, it did you guys no good.
Yeah, well, oh well.
To preface this, listeners, Jake and Levon, who are both probably over 6 feet, and I
like that you said that. I'm actually 5'11 and a half, thank you.
Okay, there we go. Shared a king bed together.
Yes. He was talking round.
Yeah, I'm 6 feet around.
Meanwhile, me, the objectively smallest member of the podcast, if you look at the pictures, have my own king bed in a different room. That was the best decision I made at the show, I'll say that.
You paid for your own room. That's the difference.
Yes. It was only $150. It wasn't
worth
bad.
every penny, right?
Worth every penny, I'm sure.
1,000%, Brian. It was luxurious.
Oh.
It was wonderful.
It's like, Jake, I don't know what's happened to him. Like, we've done this a long time, and usually we're pretty good. Like, I'm used to sleeping, because my dog and stuff sleeps in the same bed. So I'm usually sleeping, like, on the very edge of the bed to begin with. And Jake, like, would just sort of... I don't know how he sleeps, like, in a bed with his wife. Like, I don't understand how it works.
I could tell you a lot of sedatives.
The same way it works with you.
Speaking of the devil.
Right. Is he back?
Oh, yeah. Jake's back.
How many sedatives did you take?
No, you, Jake. You were off the Ambien.
Your sedatives.
And you're good now. Your mic is working.
You sound fabulous. Welcome, Jake.
Sedatives?
Sedatives. What's happening here?
Glad
I think
to be here.
Oh, God.
I'm glad you woke up from that Ambien nap.
When I was sprawled out like a starfish snoring.
Yes.
That's the picture I needed. I didn't need like the audio of my snoring. I needed a photo of me like a starfish in the center of the bed, because every time I woke up, I made sure that I was all the way on the edge of the bed.
Yeah, no, I don't think you did it on purpose. It wasn't like, I don't think you were maliciously trying to take up the bed. And you looked so peaceful, I didn't want to wake you.
This should be the marketing material for Ambien.
Yes. I could not sleep at all the whole time I was there, though.
Yeah, it's, again...
I just laid there awake for 8 hours.
Well,
yeah, the thought of Jake's boner rubbing up against me would do that.
Now, let's change the subject.
So the show.
Yeah, the show. Let's talk about the knives at the show. First off, the knives are so
overall
secondary.
Impressions. Yeah, overall impressions.
Overall impressions of the show were great. I thought it was really good. It had I heard from some people saying that it was slow, which I didn't see. I didn't see it being slow. I thought there was a constant influx of people the whole time and a constant flow of people going through each table. That's all you can hope for at some of these things,
Yeah, it was, slow compared to what? It was better than last year.
Oh, that's Jake snoring.
Oh, okay.
No. That's my recording of you snoring.
Of my snoring? Oh, dude, if we're gonna play that game,
21
no.
I got 21 seconds and figured that would be enough.
I'm not saying I didn't snore. However, yours was like the whole place started to rattle. It was like the whole place shook, and I had at one point Aaron Frederick, who was sleeping just to the left of us on an air mattress, woke up and was having like post-traumatic stress of his days in the Navy.
Dear God.
Yeah. It was pretty great. Yeah.
So I think I think it was, if it was slow compared to what? Because last year there was way less people because of the weather. It was a disaster.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So this year was definitely better. There was more custom makers of note that
and of
weren't there last year.
And
like high-end ones.
High-end custom knife makers, similar to a lot of art knife stuff that you see that I've used to seeing at the New York show and previously at the East Coast Custom Knife Show.
Yeah.
Which was nice to see.
The dealers had such insane expensive shit that it was wild.
It is not even worth looking at dealer stuff.
The dealers there had some, like, I don't even want to know what the minimum price on I just didn't even look at it because I could see from far away the amount of ornate shit that they would
honestly,
glare
some
at me
of them, some of them were
it.
a little like Knife Treasury. He's there. Honestly, his prices are not as insane as you think they are.
I mean, even if they're reasonable, they're just so far out of what I can afford. Is what I mean. Like these are like
there's
crazy
a lot of
art
gold.
knives.
Yeah. A lot of gold.
A lot of gold and engraving and mother of pearl stuff, like stuff that I know I'm not in the
Knives
tax bracket
with
for.
Naked chicks on them too, which
yes,
pretty cool.
Wildly expensive stuff.
There's something really pleasing about a properly sculpted boob.
I agree with that.
I'd pay a little bit extra for engraving if it was just like a sculpted boob. I'm not going to spend 20 grand on like an heirloom quality piece, but like just give me a boob or two.
I think Rike has you covered.
Fucking
Yeah.
They have.
what?
I actually named their dagger knife that's coming out called the Amulet.
Does it? What is the connection here?
It's an H.R. Geiger style sculpted woman.
So it's just a folding dick
as a handle with TNA, and then you flip and it's a folding dagger.
Wait, and I was just about to say that they had improved so much this year. That doesn't sound good.
Oh, dude, it's cool.
Okay, I will reserve judgment until I see it.
It's cool in the same way that my Alien 4 is cool.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll have to talk about acquisitions later. But that,
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me send you this while we're going through, and so you can.
Oh no, I found it.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a thing. I've never
It is
seen
a
a knife
thing.
with a bra on it before.
It's not a bra.
Send
It's
it over
more
and
like
send
a. It's more like a. I guess it's more of a bustier type situation.
It is something.
I like it.
That is
I
the
mean-
best way to describe it. I will send it
it's-
in the Instagram right now.
It's cheesy, but I like it.
Cheesy, they're trying to strike a better balance of cheesy and actually decent usable designs, and I fear they'll go back in the cheesy direction, and I would like them to stick in the usable designs direction.
All right. Well, we'll digress a little from the Rike stuff because we're still talking about what had happened at that show. I just love seeing and talking to the people. Like, I laughed so hard at this show. That's one thing I'll tell you is like there wasn't much time between laughter for me at this show, which is great.
I definitely
always have a good time.
I spent way more time talking to people than looking at knives because I'm looking at this list of exhibitors, and the amount that I didn't even see is pretty bad. It's pretty embarrassing for in terms of giving you guys content about the knives there.
Yes.
I do not have a lot I can say about most.
And we split up too.
Yeah.
So it's not like we were like rolling around squad style most of the time. I usually just sort of slink around and talk to people on my own time, and you guys did the same. So
Yeah.
I figured we'd cover more ground that way, but I don't know if that happened at all.
No, it definitely didn't.
So who were your standouts? What were your favorite knives from the show? And each of you has to at least give me two.
Apparently Michael Walker was there, and I did not
Two?
see any of Michael Walker's stuff, so.
Yeah, two. You have to give me two.
I can't even give you one.
Okay, we'll skip you, Brian.
Yeah,
because
Brian, what did you do when you were there? We
Brian's
barely
only
overlapped.
obligation is to go on a gold rant every couple episodes, so that's his only obligation.
That is true. You were only there for what, like 4 hours, and we were only overlapped for like 30 minutes. So
Yeah, I didn't see you much.
yeah,
I'm upset about it too.
I miss you too,
sure.
Ryan. Do you have standouts so that I can try and pick it? The problem is I got there late on Friday as well, so a lot of
for
people's
me,
stuff was gone for the first day.
There's a lot of stuff that I really liked. I mean, without getting into the acquisitions, I went there on a mission to pick something up from Skiff Made Blades, and I bought that Culprit because, I mean, still, like, if you go through everything at the show and look at what the prices were, at $800, I don't think I was going to do better.
Yeah.
You know, unless if I win like a lottery for Salmonaro, you know, without winning a Salmonaro lottery, I don't think I was going to do any better.
Steve Skiff's stuff was really, really good. With Richard Rogers not being there, his was definitely the best price to quality ratio of
Agreed.
any of these people's names.
I was
I'm saying.
surprised Richard Rogers wasn't there.
Yeah, that was unfortunate
Yeah.
because his stuff was great last year. But yeah, the Steve Skiff stuff was really awesome. I didn't actually get to handle any of Tom's knives besides a fixed blade he had on him. But
There was a constant line.
Yeah,
over
that's the
at
problem.
Tom Crine's table. We can just assume they were of standard Tom Crine quality,
Which is good.
which is good.
Standouts from the
Standout
show.
stuff for me. Otherwise, Moro Blades was there.
I know the name. but
He
I don't-
is. I think his name
he's
is
Art-
Santiago Moro. I think
Corrado.
that's his name. Corrado Moro. I knew it was something
Very Italian.
Corrado Moro. He is.
Oh, the fucking Starship Enterprise knife.
He did the Enterprise knife, and if you ever look at some of the most beautiful, almost looks like usable art knives out there.
Wow. Yeah, I did not realize.
That's how I would describe his stuff.
Yeah, to me, that's an aspirational knife maker. If I had, infinite money, that's one of the people that I would have a collection of.
Yeah, I'll be honest. The Enterprise knife threw me off. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, but I was like, oh, this is like a gimmick thing. I did not know what his. I never heard of him.
You
so
saw
I'd never seen
you
his
saw
other
the
knives.
video that I did of it, right?
Yeah, no, I saw it in person. The shit is
yeah.
incredibly cool.
It is incredibly cool.
But-
I mean, I'm not a huge Star Trek fan, but the fact that all the work that goes into that thing is insane.
I've never seen his other knives, which are equally impressive in a less
yeah.
insane way.
I think he's one of the most talented makers out there, at least in like the art knife, fancy letter opener.
Have you
style
seen
thing.
this watch with the mother of pearl inlays?
It was there. He had it there.
Oh shit! I did not see that.
Yep. Yeah,
All right,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. All right, that's a real standout. I did not.
I think
appreciate
he's
that
my
enough in person.
he's my standout knife maker from that show because first off, he comes over from Italy, and the amount of fucking neckbeards that I saw almost like just walk up and pick that fucking Enterprise knife up and just start trying to open it, almost knocked it over like a few times. I was having agita and just had to walk away.
Did you see a price on it or ask?
It was $16,000.
Oh.
So he didn't make any money on it.
No.
I don't know if it sold.
No, he is pure artist. There's no,
Yeah, that is clearly just a piece of art that some Star Trek fan will appreciate.
Yes, I said a well-heeled Trekkie.
Yeah. I will say that the two like really heavy hitters of the show, I didn't see them at all, which is Michael Walker and Ken Steigerwalt.
I didn't see Ken this year. I probably knew he was there.
He's on the
I try
list.
to usually I make it a point to go and see his table.
Well, he was really friendly and nice about us touching his knives last year, and his shit is just like the Murado stuff, the Moro stuff, incredibly
Yeah,
impressive.
I agree with you.
And then obviously Michael Walker is a god, but I could have sworn I didn't see his table.
I didn't see his table either.
I
but
don't remember seeing any Michael Walker table.
Maybe he didn't actually go. I don't know. If someone was there and saw his stuff, let us know.
I really, really liked everything I saw from ProTech and what seems to be on the horizon from ProTech, and
100
also
agree with
JD
that.
Van Deventer's stuff was every year it gets a little better, but this was a big leap.
Yeah, that
for me.
that
That's
collab with Jared Von Otterloo is
Yeah.
beautiful.
really,
You saw me. He put me. I'm on the list for that now. So I definitely need to get. And that is definitely a 2020 acquisition for me. But let's go back to ProTech. This was their first show, and Dave himself came over and brought a bunch of really cool exclusive stuff for the show. They are currently my favorite American manufacturer. I think they make some beautiful, beautiful work, and they are humble about it and awesome. So that is a huge thing. And there's a lot of American makers that are, coming up now. You have, or at least North American makers, if you include Canada with the North Arm Knives, and you have your Three Rivers Forge. I still think ProTech is the model company.
Yeah, they are really kicking it out of the park. Bad idiom. Hitting it out of the park.
They're kicking it out.
Dude.
With kickball, I guess you could do that.
But anyway, no, those mirror polished compound ground TR3s were just ridiculous.
DLC. Yeah, the mirror
for $350.
They did a mirror DLC, which is rare and beautiful, but then they also mirror polished what looked to be like a titanium nitride.
It's Zerk nitride, the gold. Gold is Zerk.
Nitride. But man,
and I'm waiting for them to do a Godson in that finish, which I think will be beautiful.
And those were hand crown, right?
Yeah. By what's his face?
The guy they have that does the hand grinding for them.
No, he's a famous guy. He does a lot of hand grinding he does a lot of Diskin stuff too.
There's an H in there. Hall.
Oh my God, what is his name?
Yeah, because
I've
seen his other knives.
I can hear people.
So Walter Brent?
No, I can hear people screaming at us through their car stereo or wherever the hell they're listening to this.
We even talked about him at the show.
Oh yeah. He came up more than once. Either way, maybe it'll come to us.
Mike Erie.
E's and H's.
Yeah,
there he is.
Okay, yeah. No, they're incredibly well done, and the price is pretty wild on them for American-made auto.
The one I got with the compound grind and the fish scale texture, that's got to be in my top 10 for this year. I love that knife.
Yeah, I hate to say it, you could get a basic bitch Microtech OTF for almost the same price as you can get a hand-ground DLC ProTech. It's kind of wild to think about.
And I've come around on aluminum a lot more lately, too. So that used to be one of my gripes, is the chipping off of the anodizing and stuff. And these days...
I don't know. With the right anodizing, it doesn't really chip off. The Rockstead I have still looks fine, and that's a stupidly expensive aluminum knife.
Well, that's the one that's made of Beskar, right?
It's fancy aluminum.
Right. The Type 3 hard anode that they do on firearms doesn't chip off, so why not?
Yeah. I am not as upset about aluminum scales as I may have been in the past as well. Totally fine with them. Especially with autos, I don't know. It just comes with the territory for autos.
And they're so nice, you can't even complain about it. Like, they just feel great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was really say thank you to Dave for showing up, and he told us at the end of the show that he had a great time, and is looking forward to coming back too, which is great because he's literally coming clear across the country for it. So.
Did you say that was their first show, or is their first New York knife?
First show at New York.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say I didn't recognize them previously.
Right.
Yeah.
So very cool.
And they did a good job with their the Mass Drop collaboration with Ferrum Forge. They did the Mordax, which a lot of people liked with the button lock.
Yes, I would love to see more manual button locks out of them, because I will say that, and with all due respect to the Ghost of Brian Ty, they're probably the best button locks on the market right now.
Do they do a detent somehow? So the problem is I still have not handled one of those Mordaxes, and I'd love to know what it flips like. Because I didn't buy one. They were like $240.
Dude, they're $160 if you create a new code on...
Yeah, I think the sales... Is the sale still going on them? We'll talk about that on our Black Friday.
They need to get... They're trying to clear anything that says Mass Drop out of there.
Yes. But nevertheless, if they can achieve, somewhat of a detent, because... I forget,
oh, dude, no, they flip amazing.
Who are we arguing with at the show about button lock flippers? That like button locks are so crazy. It's like, yeah, all button locks are insanely smooth. That's not impressive because there's nothing causing tension on the blade. The problem is the lack of a detent makes for terrible flippers.
Right. Mm-hmm. But the Mordax flips, the action is as addicting as a hawk lock.
That sounds promising.
Yeah, dude, you'll love it. I know you will.
I mean, I don't know if I think we've talked about it ad nauseum. And Alan Malicious was actually at the show this year, and he wasn't last year.
Giving us questionable looks as we were looking at his stuff.
Probably well deserved.
He's looking at me like, I know this guy. Why do I know this guy?
Yeah.
Does he say shit about me online? It's not me. I don't say any shit about Alan Malicious.
I don't know if he's patented the detent on their button locks. For Hogue that he does for that, but so I guess ProTech has found a different solution.
I will say his knives on his table were fucking awesome.
Yeah, the E-Lock is really cool.
Yeah, it's very neat.
They were all E-Lock knives. I'm not sold on that Black Rain finish. I didn't particularly like it when John Gray does a version of it. I don't really like when Alan does a version of it. It's just not for me.
It's not for me. I don't hate it. I think it's cool. There's actually a lot of work in it. And I think it looks good.
I mean, it's polished underneath.
It seems it's not a
I mean, it's not the one I would buy, certainly. But the E-Lock is cool. I was really surprised by that. I never handled the E-Lock. I actually have no idea how it works. I'm gonna have to look that up. Mm-hmm. But it made for a good flipper.
Yeah,
it's nice stuff. And I think those were kind of reasonably priced. Allen's knives.
Yeah, they're never that crazy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they were not super crazy expensive, and he is been around for a long time. He's no joke.
I want to stay on button locks for a minute and talk about Brian Ty's stuff because it was all awesome.
It sold out quicker than I didn't see a single thing.
In order to see the Brian Ty stuff, you got to be there like before the show starts.
Which is nuts because are Brian's knives that hard to get these days?
There are the prices from Brian Ty are so fucking reasonable.
I know
you can't pass them up.
Back in the day, was it 2014 when I got a custom from him? It was like a 3-week wait. And it was like $575. I don't know which of those variables have changed.
They're more than that now, but they're integral and they're like mirror polished and super, super cool.
I'm always surprised by how quickly he sells out at these shows because I thought there was like a lot of his knives in circulation.
There's a good bit. He definitely produces.
He's prolific.
Yeah.
But they still sell. The crazy thing is they sell out. That's like bringing a bunch of.
Well, truthfully, he doesn't bring a lot of knives.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6, but
5 or 6. That's why. Like one dealer has to do is show up and be like, scoop, and that's it. Done.
That makes sense.
It's more about the boots.
It's more about the boots.
He has a look.
Him and Elijah.
They were competing for the longest boots. Mm-hmm. Brian Ty must have a size like fucking 16 foot because those things were 2.5 feet long.
There's a holiday or something in Mexico, I believe, where it is traditional to wear boots like snakeskin boots with really long front ends, like toe sections.
They like curl all the way back around.
It's a cultural thing, and it is freaking insanely insane and also kind of cool in a creepy sort of way.
I would have never taken Brian Ty for being Mexican.
No, but
I'm joking.
it's the only way that that's the only way he could up his boot game at this point.
Yes. I did enjoy accidentally being very close to him in an elevator and just like giggling to myself about him not knowing that we're the ones perpetuating this rumor that he's dead.
I had many people come up and talk about the ghost of Brian Ty.
Yeah, I was next to him in an elevator.
I heard a few.
He did not know who I was.
I love Brian Ty. He's a nice guy, and it's always nice to see his wife, too.
He's so friendly. It's crazy. I remember that from when I ordered the knife from him, like when he called on the phone. Okay, these are ridiculous. This definitely... we found the cover photo.
Yeah, I just have to...
Those guys with our faces on it.
Yeah.
That was easy.
And it's literally
there's only
the only
3
way
of
to
us.
show up Elijah. You would have to do that.
Elijah, my man Elijah, with the waistcoat on. You know? He's...
I'm surprised you didn't wear your long, like, cardigan sweater.
Nah, that's the old aesthetic. We got a new one.
What's the new one? I don't give a shit.
Basics. A lot of basics.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Dude, he got the actual sweater from The Big Lebowski that the dude wears.
But in black, because metal.
Why am I not surprised? The man is homeless. We have established this.
No. I'm talking about you.
The black one, but he also had a tan one.
I'm talking about you, Dave.
Yeah, well, I'm deflecting onto the Bladeology podcast being homeless.
Yes.
All 3 of those motherfuckers do not have a home.
Yeah,
Let it be known.
Sequential Airbnbs don't count, dude.
They are transients. They will come up, they'll eat your pizza, and then leave.
Yeah. John
like
Gray.
animals.
John Gray still wins the Pizza Thief
That is the
award.
best. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Well, and honestly, the Bladeology podcast showed up with some pizza for us the previous evening.
okay. No, all right. There was an exchange of pizza.
There was an exchange of pizza.
All right, fine. But there was not an exchange of pizza with John Gray. He just stole that shit.
Yeah, and like after everybody had left and we were asleep, he comes into the room
Steal some pizza.
and steals pizza. And it's not like he steals a slice. He's like, I'm just going to take this, and he takes a box of pizza.
I am partially to blame because we were like going to the elevator to leave, and then John pops out of some other room that happens to be on the same floor. Bad luck for you guys.
It's okay. We love John Gray. He's welcome to our pizza, but it's still very funny.
Yeah. I didn't get to talk to John too much, unfortunately, but
Well,
he had some cool stuff. I like how he had
he's
his
always-
little knife museum with him.
He really needs to like consolidate his table. Like you don't even know what you're looking at half the time when you're there.
Yeah, I only remembered
It's
from
true.
last
It's
year that
hard
they're
to
knives
find,
just to
like,
show
yeah.
people.
That's a tip for anyone who's coming to these shows and thinks that they're bringing their whole collection of knives you got to make it look somewhat exclusive. You know, like if you go to a production knife table, chances are they probably have 50 other of that same knife that's sitting on the table behind
Yes,
the
I felt like such an idiot when I thought I bought the only one of these Rike knives,
Yeah,
and then they just
yeah.
went and pulled another one and replaced it on
Yeah.
the table.
Yeah.
I was like,
mean,
oh
that's-
shit, there's only one.
That's a common trade show tactic. It's not like plus it's not just a sales tactic. It's there to make it look more easier to see. It's not like trying to
Yeah,
you know.
some basic aesthetic considerations.
Yeah, John Gray doesn't have any basic aesthetic considerations.
No, he's John Gray, but he's lovable.
It's of course he is. I love him very, very much.
I mean, he should be like Matt and just have one knife.
One knife on the table.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that
this
makes me
one-
one knife a year.
This fell into the
Well,
bag
really-
on my way over here.
What really topped the John Gray issue off is when you walk up to his table and he throws you a bag of gray meat, and it's like, go ahead, have some. I don't
Have
know what
some
the fuck
meat!
This shit is.
Yeah. But did you eat the meat?
No.
What
Meat
the
Pants did,
fuck
I'm
is
sure.
this? Is it Arby's?
Listen, I eat shit that you wouldn't believe. I used to have guys that I worked with, the Colombian guys, that would bring in some
eat
fucked
shit?
up shit. Yeah, I dabble. But I'm not eating. I heard some stories about John Gray and the way he keeps his deer, so I'm not eating that shit.
You mean on the floor of his shop?
On the floor of the shop is one thing, but I hear like, you know,
Wait, John Gray was just handing out
bad
venison?
stuff, yucky stuff, gross stuff.
He's just handing out venison to people
literally,
to show?
no. He had like some little blue cooler bag, and he just throws it at you, and there's like you look in it, and it looked like gray
Ugh.
boneless pork chop.
Yeah,
You
he
know what
killed
I mean?
somebody. That's human meat.
Yeah, I needed a little more fancy than that.
Human meat.
Human meat.
Meat.
It's definitely human meat.
Human meat.
Where do you even get human meat, Frank? I got a guy.
A guy.
Tell me you guys have seen Freddy Got Fingered?
Of course.
When he cuts open the deer and then gets inside of it, that's all I can think of about John Gray now. That's what he's doing with his
which
deer.
was originated by Han Solo putting Luke Skywalker into a tauntaun.
That's what
And,
John Gray does with his deer.
Rick,
Yeah, I wouldn't
Rick
eat it
and
either.
Morty just did it again 2 seasons ago, or
Rick and
last
Morty
season,
just did it
Morty's
again
mind's blowing.
a season ago.
Get out of here, neckbeard. Anyway, so aesthetic considerations for your table. Don't have a bunch of knives.
Yeah, don't put just you know,
Haphazardly.
yeah, just try and think about what you want to sell. There's strategy to this.
There was way more bourbon on tables this year than there were last year.
I have
Yeah,
to
they must have
say,
lifted
in
the
terms,
no bourbon rule.
and there was water. I didn't dehydrate myself during this show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
the water was a
and
nice
in
touch.
In the morning, they had Starbucks coffee there for everybody, as well as pastries and things for people to like nosh a
what?
little bit. Yeah,
Oh, I missed that part. So they
Yeah.
actually they provided coffee and
they
pastries?
took care of people, which I thought was
Hey.
very, very nice.
Thank you, Richie Woo, for sponsoring the show and paying for that.
Yes,
And
We
whoever
love you,
else
Richie.
sponsored the
Richie-
show.
yes, lots of people.
Yeah, PVK was a sponsor.
Zeba,
I had no idea.
We have to thank Zeba
Steel Flame.
Yeah.
How did we sponsor this and wasn't there?
because we money.
That's recognition.
The same reason why Red Bull is not in bed with you right now.
Yeah.
Or is it?
What?
What?
Could be in your
What?
penis.
Penis?
All right. Anyway, yeah, cool.
So those were some of my standouts. from the
Meeting
show.
all
And
3 of the 4 Mark of the Maker guys was great.
Oh, yeah. Always a pleasure.
Jake and I actually had an awesome conversation with Tom Crine about codifying the history of knife making, or of, 20th century tactical knife making, because all these guys are basically, they're retiring. A bunch of them don't even want to talk about knives anymore, and no one has written down this stuff. I was like, you should write a book because you have access to all these guys. Because he worked with Bob Dozier and shit, and really big deal people. And there's some oral history of it because it's on the Mark of the Maker podcast, but this shit is all going to disappear, and no one is going to have any idea of the history of this stuff.
And there's a lot of people that criticize the move to production knives. The thing is, people need to make a living. Making knives is not a sustainable business for 90% of the people that we know and love,
Yeah, look at
the only natural, exactly. The natural progression is to have, build a name for yourself with what you do, and then offer designs at an affordable price so that more people can get their hands on your stuff, and you don't have to work as hard on some of the other stuff.
Sounds like someone we know.
Exactly, and
has done this successfully.
and that's not a coincidence. I mean, Brian, how many years have we been talking about this?
About switching to production knives?
About just working on stuff as a passion versus trying to kill yourself to make money.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. Because so Jeremiah was talking to somebody, it might have been Chuck Gudradis, about all these legendary automakers, and none of them want to make knives anymore.
Yeah.
Or talk to people, or they've retired and they don't want anything to do with knives anymore. And it's
Yeah.
These stories are gonna be lost, but I also don't blame these people. It's not the easiest job, especially when you get older. The risk of injuring yourself, whew, that's scary.
Speaking of switchblades and Chuck Gudradis, that freaking, I'm calling it the Switch Army knife. I don't know why he didn't call it that, but it seems to be the right name for that knife.
It's not a marketing mastermind like you.
Oh, well, we all can't be. But, yeah, well, that's stuff. And,
that is a cool knife.
The switchblade version of a Swiss Army knife styled knife.
Yeah, it's basically a what is it, a liner lock that is a scale release auto that is styled like a traditional Swiss Army knife.
Mm-hmm. But
it's got the toothpick
and the
everything.
tweezers.
And the tweezers. It is very cool.
It is
very novel.
That's another 2020 pickup for me.
Yeah, that's a very cool idea. I am actually kind of shocked that someone hasn't tried to do that before.
I think he's taking orders, and I think they start around $700.
Yeah, they're not inexpensive, but it's
worth
done
it
by
for
hand.
For a handmade scale release auto. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, I don't think there's cheap custom autos. I should rephrase that.
In fact, I feel like that's pretty affordable. I mean, the touches they're trying to get their prices to be close to that. I mean, it's a different type of thing, but the idea is still similar.
Yeah, and there are not cheap custom autos. Now that I'm thinking about it, that does not exist. So $700 is reasonable.
And you have it your way. You tell him what materials you want, he makes it.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, that was a neat little knife.
It was just, I don't even, yeah. Did he have a table there?
No, I just had that with him.
He just was hanging out, and that was what he was carrying. Yeah. That's just a cool knife.
Finally got to handle Michael Birch's knives, which I kind of never thought I would.
Really? Why would you not think you were going to handle any of it?
I don't know, because he brought one knife. His stuff usually goes pretty quickly. Or maybe he had a couple, but they were all gone the first day, and then the second day there was just one.
They were all, what do you call it, lotto.
Yeah.
No, wait. I think there was one that was a table.
The last
one
was the open bid was the only one that I got to handle.
Yeah.
When I was lucky enough to get some,
yeah, that was on Saturday, right?
Get some really good advice from him.
Yeah, that was also cool. He was
generous.
It was nice to handle one of his knives. It had Mokume. It was very cool.
Yeah.
And a very nice Hamon. Who was that German guy that had the non-locking frame lock? Those are some strange knives.
They were very strange. He didn't speak very much English, right? That guy? Hansel and Gretel knives? No, it was it had like a metal name to it. It was yeah, it was a word. Helion or something like that. Wasn't it something like that, knives?
Didn't you grab a business card?
Yeah, I grabbed so many fucking business cards.
And then you don't know what's what?
And I do that so I can remember this stuff.
If we figure it out,
it's
we'll
in my. If you go to my story, I have like a New York Custom Knife Show collection on there, and you can go through it, and so everything is tagged in there.
Yeah.
Oh.
In
fact, I could go through that right now.
This was like a couple years ago style, super beefy frame lock, like the Croatian guy who's Dalibor. It was like Dalibor style knives, super beefy. Kind of reminded me also of Vandermeulen's designs. But then you see that the frame lock doesn't engage because it's actually a detent slip joint. That was a funny knife.
It was, but it worked.
It does. I mean, it works for the laws in Germany, the 42A laws or whatever. But it's just a bizarre thing to see. Is a knife that beefy that does not lock? It was an interesting knife. I don't know if the market in the U.S. Is there for something like that, but it was interesting.
Yes, I'm looking at some other knives that I saw. There was I actually talked to Eric Luthor Knives. He's another maker. He's a friend of Jason. Some really cool stuff. Lots of that overbuilt stuff, but everything was well made.
Yeah.
So he's Eric Luthor Knives on Instagram. You should give him a follow too.
I was not familiar with him before the show.
I'm always a big fan of the Demko Knives table.
I mean, the Scorpion lock is really cool in person.
I love the 8015, and I need to get another one, and I just don't know how I would want it.
It's not my style, but they're well made and it's fun to play with.
It's not generally my style either, but I just
it's
like
too beefy,
the knives.
but
it's such a nice knife.
It is. It's very nice. They had a lot of them, so it's like not hard to get one these days, which is also cool. They used to be when Andrew Demko was only doing full customs. I think he did like 15 a year. That was like his contract with Cold Steel limited that. They were hard to get, so I'm glad they're more available to people these days.
That's right. Other stuff. Can we talk about Tim Reeve and some of the exclusive stuff they had there? And just an all-around great time
we had. Best.
Yeah, it's just awesome time. I am in love with the 31.
The Spencer 31, fuck what you heard. It's awesome.
It is fucking great.
It is great. What did you expect from me? Of course I'm going to say it's great, but it is so much better than I expected.
And I would tell you if it sucked. It doesn't suck.
The action is completely transformed.
It's like perfect. It has the perfect. It has the perfect action.
It's so cool.
The archetypical knife action.
Yeah, if you want just the pure distillation of a basic folding knife, it is so good. I'm so excited for those.
It's true.
And the wait is almost over.
That's true.
That was the biggest tease though. They had one of every version that's coming out. And
I was supposed to take one home with me to play with, but I did not.
Tim did say, I still haven't taken a picture of this Umnumzon that Tim sent me home with.
Yes.
That is very cool. It is, for people interested, it is a Damascus one-off Umnumzon with no milling with KG gun coat.
It's pretty
cool.
Fucking cool. It is a badass looking Umnumzon.
Yeah, I kind of don't know why they haven't done this, but same excuse as always. They're at capacity.
I really want a Menandi.
That Menandi that they had with the what was that anodine or no, it was bronze aluminum bronze. I'm not familiar with the material. Yes,
and some Damascus, and it was beautiful. And I forgot how much I really liked the Menandi for a small knife.
It's very if you want a gentleman knife, whatever that means, it is right there.
You know me, because I'm a huge gentleman, literally a huge gentleman.
I was just the Sabenza 31 was it was cool to see it.
Yes,
I'm excited for that one.
That's a must.
Yeah.
Now, which version are you going to get? Because
I'm going to get the natural micarta drop point large.
I think I'm with you on that, or I'm going to do the dark. Is it a dark micarta, like a black?
It is. Yeah, there's black micarta and then natural micarta, and then maybe Knife Ship Free will have their red micarta version.
Oh, that's for me.
Yeah, they did with the 21, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that'll be a good one to get.
Yeah, they're it's a really nice knife. I don't know what else to tell you. It's a fucking Sabenza that's been improved a little bit.
I like awesome stuff like that. You know, on really high end stuff or things that are, you know, what's the word? Timeless. Making those incremental changes can mean a lot in the overall legacy of the knife.
Yeah, and also as people have been pointing out, I think Knife Haters has gone a little off the rails recently, but one thing, none of these Chinese knives hold their value, and Sebenzas do. So what does that actually mean about Chris Reeve knives? People say they're boring and stuff, that they're not worth the money, but look at the prices on Riots in the secondary market. They tank immediately.
Let me just talk about knife critiques for a minute. Like, sometimes he makes me laugh, right? But sometimes he's so far off base. It's just like, dude, I want to like you, but you're making it very difficult to.
There's times where I agree with a lot of the criticisms.
Yeah, I still think it's in good. It's all fine. You know?
Lately, there's just a lot of like elitism that I just.
He shits on my friends all the time. You know, on Recon 1 and stuff. And it's like, why? I still don't understand like what it means. Like,
I don't know.
It's like they took Tom Mayo away from him or something. I don't get it.
I mean, but he also said Tom Mayo slipping up. It just like it seems like there's no custom knives that are good anymore.
That didn't make any sense either. Like, because of the way he had that grid drawn, it was on a curved surface.
Yeah,
he wasn't trying to line it up the way. I mean, whatever.
It's not worth arguing.
Just keep
about.
it up and make it. Just put a little more thought into it. I know you can do it.
Yes.
Make me. Yes, it's a necessary thing, I think, to have something like that in the knife community. But
yeah,
some of the posts are better than others.
But anyway, I forget what I was talking about before that. Oh, yeah, but about secondary values, about how none of the Chinese knives hold their value, and
exactly
Sebenzas and stuff do. So there's something to it.
I mean, if we're but then we can digress into the apocalyptic devaluation of some of the high end knives out there right now.
Holy shit! The end is nigh. I feel like fucking. I
don't know.
What's his
name?
name?
It's just everything is changing. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And I think they'll probably go up in value again, but. It is a buyer's market right now for some high-end knives.
I feel like Rorschach with the sign just wandering around saying the end is not. I don't know, a stout for $1,500, a Rexford Epicenter for $4,000,
asking $4,000.
Absolutely crazy. It was a Damascus Epicenter, I believe, as well.
With the dual clad, with the it has the two different layers of Damascus clad to each other.
Absolutely insane. Epicenter XL.
Two different layers, but two different types of Damascus. It's pretty cool.
4,000. That knife, I assume, sold for at least double that 2 years ago.
He's open to trades.
Crazy. That's
it's
wild.
Just the way it is. Meanwhile, some of these Chinese knives are incredibly hard to get. Like, you know that Pena Urban Trapper that I have?
Oh yeah, I mean they're in demand, and some of them do hold their value. I think the point is that the majority of them do not hold their value.
Right. No, I agree. Which some of them are getting very, very difficult to get, and it's very strange.
There's been occasional ones. The Riot Valkyrie sold, like those ones, there was only like a 100-piece run on both of them, so those were very in demand and hard to get.
I almost bought that so many times.
Yeah, but no, the Pena Urban Trapper. Although what that is doing to his custom knives is pretty crazy, because Jason Killer Steel had that custom that he got for like $600.
That's so good.
$600? It was crazy for that.
So good.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the situations where the custom knife is actually better than the production knife.
It was super nice, but I think the problem is the designs are like one for one.
I think
from the production to the custom.
Yeah,
other way around rather.
Right, and that's like a mortal sin to me. It's like if you want to like tank your values, just make a 1-to-1 production version of your custom knife.
But if you're making more money off of the
or at least
production knives, then it's fine.
Or at least put some distance between it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought it was one of the Riot ones at first until I saw the lack of a lock bar insert. That was the only thing that gave it away to me at first.
That one has a jigged G10 handle.
Yeah,
which is not my cup of tea, but it worked on that knife.
Yeah, but anyway, the Pena stuff is his customs are nice, and then the Riot ones are pretty popular. So I don't think he's hurting.
I mean, and that Trapper is cool.
It is a very cool knife.
I have the one with the.
How did you get that?
Natural. I got it on Urban EDC.
Oh, okay. I assume those things sold out very fast.
Oh my god! It was like an old school like a ZT or a ZT Sprint or a.
Oh man, yeah.
It was crazy. I was on there.
Spyderco Sprint is what you're.
Spyderco Sprint. Well, no, I wasn't. I was actually talking about a ZT limited edition.
Yeah, when they used to have the 2 weeks in advance, I tell you, and you had to be lined up. Yeah.
Yeah. But it is very nice. I kind of wish it was hollow grind because it's pretty thick behind the edge for something of its size.
How do they? I don't know. Maybe Brian could give some insight here. How do they decide what's going to be hollow ground and flat ground? Because why is everything not hollow ground?
I think it was just the amount of room they had on, because the blade isn't very broad.
So use a really small wheel.
Yeah, well, it's a production company.
I know. I don't really even know how those hollow grinds are achieved. Like, I don't know what production process they do to get hollow grinds at Riot. Are they all done by hand? Is there some kind of machine that does it?
Brian is a master of hand grinding blades, so maybe we should.
Well, Brian would know because he's CNC.
And I've been over there 3 times.
Right.
Well, we have seen footage of how ZT does their in-house grinding, and it looks a little bit more like an automotive production plant than a knife.
Production plant. Yeah, it's not necessarily a grind. It's more of a.
Yeah, it's like it's a robotic arm that's just repeating the process of the.
But that's not how Riot does it.
Yeah, so how does Riot do it?
They're somewhere in between that and a jig.
Yes, that is true. I believe that is 100% true. I believe that they machine in most of the bevel, and then hit it to put it on a fixture and add the grind lines or finish it.
Did it cost, Brian? Is there a difference in price from Riot about having hollow versus flat grinds on your knives?
There is going to be a difference, but it's so funny how, no matter what you come up with, trying to see, pricing wise, like you start pricing out things that should be typically a lot more money, and you look at what it costs to do it, and it's like, what? Are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. It's so, like, that price difference is so minute.
Okay, then I'm going with everybody should just have their knives hollow ground.
I don't think that's really the answer, though,
No.
Dave.
So do you want the technical answer, Dave, to why all knives are not just hollow ground, if that's the case?
I mean,
Because
this
there's
is
a
my
lot more
cue to go pee. I'll be right back.
Thickness behind the edge.
yeah, I know.
There's the stability behind the edge there's the reason for the flat grind, and the reason why a flat grind. Well, one of the reasons why it's a more common.
Yeah, sure, but when you have
it's also easier to obtain.
When you have a really narrow blade like that, where there's not a lot of height for the flat grind, I think a hollow makes sense there to thin the edge out, especially in something that's essentially supposed to be like a slip joint.
Yeah, and it just depends on the knife and really who's building it and how they see it being used. But I mean, if you were to look at apples to apples, like a cross section of 2 blades, one hollow, one flat, and decide whether you want the additional stability of the edge, or of the blade itself rather, or the thinness behind the edge that you can achieve with the hollow. But the hollow is certainly, if the overall blade is not very strong, then a hollow grind might not make as much sense, or at least the stability of the sharpened part of the blade. So
no, that definitely makes sense.
There's a lot more to it than just everything should be hollow, so it's super thin behind the edge. And I think if you have over 100 knives, maybe that's true.
Yeah, sure. That's a good point. But yeah, my preference definitely leans towards hollow grinds. Did we actually lose? Is Levon actually being? Well, anyway.
No, I think he really went.
Okay. Well, we will just move on without him to something. What should we move on to?
Whatever it is, it's going to be wrong when he gets back. That's not
well, speaking of people that do not do hollow grinds but achieve really thin edges, the Three Rivers Manufacturing. Did you handle the new one, the full size knife they're doing? I think it's the Atom. It weighs essentially nothing.
Oh, was it that light?
It's 2.5 ounces, and I think it's a 3.5 inch blade.
That should stand out to me because I love when they're like little helium filled.
It is, yeah, it's wild.
Sharp things, but yeah, that's another one of those companies that I'm really rooting for obvious reasons.
So it's
and
3.
I'm sure I did handle it. But.
It's 3 ounces, but it is 8 3/16 inches overall. So it's a big knife that weighs almost nothing because the blade is 0.09 inches thick.
Okay.
Less than a tenth of an inch thick.
That north arm
Skaha
was the Skaha 2 that Levon just got. I mean, unbelievably, it's like it messes with your brain when you open it and just feel how light it is.
Yes.
Compared to actually, squeezing on it, and it has no give in any direction. It's not like it flexes and bends. And,
No, it's thick carbon fiber.
yeah,
I mean, because it's also contoured, so it needs to be relatively thick to get that kind of contouring going.
and it weighs nothing.
Yeah, that knife is super light, but the Atom is also super light, incredibly slicey. That was a cool knife. They are so light. But
Yeah,
I think they were like
they're doing
$195.
them in sort of like a pastel palette of
Yeah.
micarta, right?
Yeah, they have different micarta, G10, a lot of bright colored G10, and then carbon fiber. They're not cheap. I mean, they're like $200 $200. But they're made in the
what's
U.S.
this? I'm sorry.
The blade steel is, let's find out, 20 CV.
Oh,
It's not bad.
That's
What are we
not
talking
expensive
about?
at all. Then that's the whole package.
The Three Rivers Manufacturing Atom.
Oh yeah,
They had them at the show.
yeah. I have one. You know that.
Yeah.
You have an Atom? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have an
the
Atom.
domestic made 20 CV and super lightweight and
Yeah.
yeah, for $200. That's like ZT territory in every way, and I think
They're up there.
good.
I mean, in terms of knife, I was trying to deliberately hold off on talking about them because of, going over knives of the year and stuff like that. They're certainly in that running. I just got some extra scales for mine, which were the contoured purple G10.
Yeah, because they have the flat ones and then they have the contoured ones with the milling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were also talking about anyone had listened to our Knife Nuts. I can't remember if that was part of the extras or part of the beginning of this episode, but we were talking about women in
That was the beginning of
knives.
this. That was literally an hour ago.
Was that? Was that the beginning? I couldn't remember if we did it in the pre-show for the.
drugs.
No, I didn't know if we did it for the beginning of this episode or the beginning of because it was all the same.
We recorded it
fuck
an hour
up.
ago.
Yeah, I know we did it in this recording session, but I didn't know if it was going in the episode or the Knife Nuts
I have
extra
no idea.
portion.
Oh, I have no idea.
So if someone is listening, they're gonna be like, "We didn't talk about that." Either way, that is a knife company that's ran by a woman, and arguably Microtech is run by a woman as well. And I'm not talking about Tony. I'm talking about Susan.
Wow.
They're
Wow. Chris Reeve
There's-
Knives.
Chris Reeve Knives, absolutely. Think about this. There's a lot of women in the industry, and and for some of the top companies in the industry.
Absolutely.
So I think that going back to what that conversation when we were talking about before, I think it really speaks for itself.
I will say that this Blade HQ exclusive. Wow, I fucking missed the boat on this one. Came out on July 30th. The Blade HQ exclusive bone white linen micarta Atom is very cool. Fuck, I missed that one real bad.
They're gonna make all the
Bone
scales
white is
again.
literally like my favorite color.
Yes, white micarta is awesome. White paper micarta that kind of just looks like ivory. I have a real soft spot for that for some reason.
Speaking
I bought,
of that,
3 different pieces of that over the last couple shows
for knives that you're gonna make,
Oops.
I got that Sprint Run Stretch.
I love that thing.
Oh,
That
dude,
drop
it's
shot.
It's so old school.
so good.
It's so old school, but the blade shape change was. I mean, it's basically just like a bigger.
I think
well,
it's the best Spyderco.
It's basically just paramilitary 2 that's a little different, and for some reason that
better.
really does it for me.
It's better. It's better than the paramilitary too.
It
is.
I hope that based on the success of this, they use that blade shape and just make completely new versions.
Yeah, I want fancy scales for mine. Even
Exactly.
though I do like someone needs to. Is there a Russian or something that I can talk to?
There's got to
That'll
be
make me
someone.
Friggin', can you even take these apart? Yeah, you can take them apart, right?
Yeah, actually, no. This is way better looking than the paramilitary 2.
It's so good looking.
Yeah, because the blade is similar, but the handle is
The
just
handle
like.
is the handle is really beautiful. It's a great looking knife.
Oh God, that's so much nicer. Yes.
I was blown away, and it's not a fluke because I've handled 2 of them. My mom actually got one before me, and I went over to her house. She's like, "You got one of these?" So I open it up, and I'm like, the action is like amazing. And once I saw that, and she got one from our sponsors, St. Nick's Knives. So shout out to them. I went there, and they were actually sold out. So I actually got mine from River's Edge Cutlery when they got their batch. And the action on mine is even better than hers.
They are so nice, and you can dye the white FRN any color you want if you so choose. But
I just want fancy Russian scales. Can I get some fat carbon up in this piece?
it is a really nice knife. I can't believe how much it was transformed by just making it less Spyderco-y. It's still Spyderco-y. It's just less goofy.
I think making it more Spyderco-y.
I don't know.
Really,
the
like
original
that blade shape is so iconically Spyderco now.
It is. I guess I associate Spyderco with goofy looking things, and the original Stretch 2 is goofy looking. It's a goofy ass knife.
Also a good knife. I will say.
Oh, absolutely. It's just crazy how much better it looks.
Speaking of these knives and Russian scales, I have a Stretch 2 with the Russian
Super blue.
Belarusian or whatever scales in my possession right now.
Wait, what?
There's
Or is
someone.
it Lithuanian?
Someone makes aftermarket scales for this.
Who?
Yeah.
What do you have with
For a
scales?
stretch, not for this stretch, for an original stretch.
What difference does it make? The
Yes.
scales aren't.
It's the same
That's
thing.
exactly you have. What I want right now.
Yeah, that was literally what we were just
I
describing.
very well might have what you want. Yeah,
Well, what is it? I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll find it. You've seen them before. They're
Oh, is it from G10.lt? Yeah, this Lithuanian dude. He makes scales for the Stretch 2.
Oh, yeah?
So Lithuanian.
Send me a motherfucking link. I'm buying some scales
suing
tonight.
Gab.
Suing Gab, that's him.
Yeah,
yeah.
Is he? That doesn't sound very Belarusian.
I think they take
Lithuanian.
a real long.
Oh,
yeah,
there
it's
you go.
Lithuania. I think they take a long time to get here. Is the challenge with them?
Oh no! What will I ever do?
But either way, I have a set, so they're yours if they fit.
Wow, coming out of nowhere with a set of aftermarket Stretch 2 scales.
Wait, what are they? What is the material? What is
They're
the
on
color?
my card.
Okay, I'm in. Yeah, that's good.
I didn't expect that to happen.
No, hooray!
Wow, look at that. Jake was just keeping those in
With
the
each
back
other
pocket.
6 out of 7 days a week, and
Yeah.
they don't know this.
I actually haven't seen him.
Look at
Probably
that.
since
You guys
the
are still
show.
surprising each other. What a great couple.
Just too many knives.
It's just too many knives.
Too many knives.
It's true.
There are too many knives.
Yeah, I literally Emily came over yesterday, and I was like, "You need to pick a knife because I've got too many knives." So I laid out some knives for her to take, and she picked a knife, and I was like, "You want that one too? Just take it."
My case fits 50 knives, and I've always decided, like, oh, I'll only have 50 at a time. That hasn't happened, and I refused to buy another case, and now I just have knives everywhere in my apartment. So, yeah.
I have to like trudge through knives. That's the
bad.
new In Flames single coming out.
Crawl through knives.
Trudge through knives.
Trudge through
Trudge
knives.
through knives.
The new version.
I used to like Crawl Through Knives a lot.
That's a shit song on a shit album.
That was not a bad... Wasn't that off of, what was that, Reroute to Remain?
No.
No, it was the one after that.
The album was actually supposed to be called Crawl Through Knives. And then they said, you know what, that's really fucking stupid, so they changed it.
Does it help if English isn't their first language? Oh, that was Come Clarity that was off of. Okay. Not their best album.
I don't mind it.
English
I
is
take that back.
basically
I
their
actually...
first language.
Come Clarity was the first album that I heard from them, so there's actually a lot of tracks on here I
Dude,
really like.
how old are you?
It was in Guitar Hero. What do I tell you, man?
Oh my god.
That's how I first found out about In Flames. Was from Guitar Hero. They had Take This Life in one of the Guitar Heroes.
I was just going through pictures. I was talking to Elijah, and I sent him a picture of me and Anders Frieden from the year 2000.
Wow, back when he had the dreadlocks.
Before he had the dreadlocks!
I don't even know what he looks like before that.
Here, let me send... Hold up. I got you.
That's wild.
And it's me before I had a beard, so you'll get an extra kick out
Wow.
of this. I'm probably like 18 or 19 in this photo.
That is
Very
some
round and
shit.
smooth. Levon.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much.
But anyway, I don't remember where we got off on this tangent.
It was you trudging
Stretch
through
2.
knives.
Liking the Stretch 2. Should we just talk about stuff we got then?
Yeah, let's some acquisition-y
Because
shit.
it's a real when it rains, it pours kind of situation for me because I hadn't bought a knife in a while and now I have 5 new knives.
I think I'm at I get 4 or 5 knives a week.
Holy shit. Yeah, no, I cannot keep pace with that.
Yeah, no, and it's stuff that comes in, stuff that goes out, but
Yeah. Well, the first one I
it's
got
hard
was
for me to keep up with.
the Ace Sonoma from you, which you were right. It is very pointy in places it shouldn't be pointy, towards the butt end of the handle.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, it's awesome.
But a nice
I
knife.
really like it. The aesthetics
Yeah,
of it are just like, I don't know. I find it very pleasing how
I'm
simple
just
it is.
excited that we're gonna get designs from Jesper Voxnays that are built to a very high standard.
Yes.
You know,
The switch that might be the least controversial decision in the production knife world this year is switching to Riot as their OEM. Although maybe not fully, we have no idea. Who knows with the GM6? The GM6 could still be made in Italy. I don't think so because I saw they previewed the grinds and the grinds looked exactly like the satin that Riot does.
I believe that one's going to be a Riot as well.
Yeah, it looked too much like that.
I think they're only going to do I think the way that they've negotiated this is they're going to do a lot of the limited stuff through their Italian partnerships, and do most of the mainstream production.
That's fine by me.
Which is an odd,
I would think it would be the opposite
thing to do, but well, I don't know. I think cost wise, it's probably more to get it done in Italy.
Yeah, but it is awesome, and they had a Black Friday sale that was 20% off. So this is $212. For $212, this is a hell of a knife. It's M390. Mm-hmm. It's made by Riot. Yeah, great design. So I'm super happy with that one. So thank you for that. It's a good gift.
Sure, buddy. You deserve it.
And then another Black Friday thing, since Mass Drop, do you guys want to recklessly speculate about the future of Mass Drop? Which I'm not going to call them drop. It's all their stuff still says Mass Drop.
And it's really more of a their take of the knife world that's in jeopardy, or at least I don't know if it's in jeopardy. I shouldn't say that. I think it's sort of it's directionless at the moment.
Well, they were clearing shit out. I mean, presumably because it has the Mass Drop name on it. And I don't know what's to be said about changing your brand name rapidly when so much of your material says your old brand name.
Well, I think they were just producing stuff in numbers that didn't make sense.
Yeah. I thought their model was they took pre-orders, got the run made, and then that's it. Afterwards, when they did these gigantic orders of all of these Wien-made Ferrum Forge designs and whatnot, I got another Thresher because it was $100.
$100, yeah.
Which is nuts for this. I mean, it has lock rock like they all do. But otherwise, it's way better.
That's a shame. That's a real shame.
Yeah, they kind of butt-fucked this knife. I mean, they didn't butt-fuck it, but they didn't do the best job, I think. It's weird because Wii is usually better than this, but they all seem to have lock rock. This one is definitely better than the pelagic. Remember the real scalloped handles that they had on the prototype that looked real cool? That shit is just hot spots everywhere, and I got the one of the versions that isn't like that, and it's just so much better. And for $100, that was a real Black Friday sale. That thing was down $80. It was almost half off.
Yeah, that was a good one.
They had a lot of good ones, and there was a lot of good Black Friday sales this year in general.
That's true. I'm trying to think of which ones I took advantage of. Oh my gosh, Knives Ship Free had a Begg Steelcraft sale.
Half off.
Half off. I bought a mini Bodega for $200.
Yeah. That's such a nice configuration.
That's a great... Yeah, I love that knife. It's very cool. And it's cool because it's like old school Riot, where you could still see their... the Beggs had a huge effect on how Riot manufactures knives. We basically have Begg knives to thank for the current crop of high-end knives from Riot. So, that was like their first OEM sort of... at least official OEM partnership. And you can see they were still trying to get there, and it's still fabulous. It's still a fantastic knife. But when you compare it to like modern Riot-made knives, it's pretty noticeable.
I don't know. It has a lot of embellishing, that knife. I think I have the bigger one, and it's still great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Listen, guys, I appreciate what you're talking about and everything, but I just saw that picture of Levon with no facial hair.
It is an odd photo.
I gotta I have to go.
Lo and behold, it is a weird face I'm making.
That was a very serious sound, Ryan. I was kind of worried something was happening.
What's happening?
Wow.
I just thought the dog ate the other dog or something.
If you showed me that picture, I would not have known that was Anders Streeten. I'm just gonna say that now. He just looks like some dude. Mm-hmm. That's funny. But yeah, no, I have the bigger, I mean, as you do too, the bigger Bodega.
The bigger Bodega.
Yeah.
The big Dega.
Half off, that's a no-brainer. They did some half off on some Bark River knives too. Like, there was some good deals for once.
I almost, the deals were so good, I almost bought a Field Marshal.
Yeah, and that knife is
Horrible.
There's a reason. Yeah, there's a reason why those have sat there for literal years.
You could get Damasteel ones for
For like
350.
$350. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was wild. Because they were originally selling them for $777. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why. Well, I think we know why this year there were crazy Black Friday sales, and there's never been Black Friday sales before. Like, it was always so sad because the retailers would have to throw in some like useless junk to like entice you, and it was never actually worth it. It's like, oh, you get a cleaning cloth.
Oh, can we talk about the Black Friday sale I took advantage of?
Which one's that?
The Blade HQ one where you got a Spyderco Hanan and a Rescue and a deck of
Exactly.
Spyderco playing cards.
Is the knife industry collapsing? Because these prices, these sales were crazy.
Did you ever get something that was supposed to be such a good deal and then you get it and you're like, wow.
That's why they were giving it away for free?
This isn't even worth the price I paid. I'm returning it. That's the Spyderco Hanan in a nutshell.
You missed out on the goo green roll or whatever electric green knife roll.
Because knife
That's
rolls
the one
are
I
fucking
want.
just knife scuffers. I don't know what the word is. They just destroy knives. It's like putting your knife in like something to destroy your knives.
But yeah, Blade HQ had some wild sales.
Very eloquent.
Yeah, well, you know,
Expand on that a bit.
They're doing.
I could. Knife rolls suck, and so do you.
They
That's
have.
what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blade HQ had some great sales. I'm trying to think what other ones. ZT did 15% off on all their knives for the first time ever.
I think it's funny because everyone was like, "Oh my god, look, it's the first ZT sale," but it's the same price. Like everyone went nuts. Like Frunky went and bought two of those
920s.
920s.
Yeah,
and it was the same price as it was last year. And that when I bought it last year, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, fuck ZT. I don't like ZT." And now everyone's up ZT's butt again.
Hey, it worked then.
I fucking love that knife still to this day. So
I know it was just interesting. I don't remember in my time seeing ZT do a just across the board sale on all of their knives.
it had to happen.
It was very interesting because I usually completely ignore all Black Friday stuff with knives because it's usually terrible. I'm pretty sure we have an episode from last year talking about how bad Black Friday
sales.
deal.
I think we did mention how bad it was a couple times. What else was there?
I got a $31 Budget Light Forums FW3A. That was a good deal.
That's very cool.
$30.
Can I talk about a flashlight that I ordered?
Go for it.
Okay.
You have to be very brief because Brian's going to get angry at you.
Yeah, I don't understand it. It's like I've given him flashlights too. So whatever.
I'm not even paying attention to you, to tell you the truth.
Okay. Well, that works.
He just was for that sentence and the one after it. So he's gone now.
Go fuck yourself.
Did I ever send you guys the pictures of like the really cool machined FW3As that they did for the China market?
No.
So they have incredible milling, just some really cool details, tritium slots, better emitter choices and stuff. But they were only made for the Chinese market. But Neil from Neil's Gadgets took a couple spots to get a couple of these flashlights in. They're like $140, so they're not ridiculously expensive, but they're pricey for budget light forums.
Yes.
Let's just put it that way. And they have crazy anodizing and stuff like that. They look so fucking cool. I'll send you a picture of them. But I put my name on the list for one of those.
Nice. Yeah, for $30 after I played with yours, I just like the interface a lot.
They're great. They're really good.
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand like what I mean, I feel like Olight is lights with training wheels on them.
And they're expensive.
They're expensive. I get it. I think they have a place in the market. I just don't think people really
They have a much
understand
slicker presence than like going to random Chinese wholesale websites and buying.
Well, it's also
something.
they send so much shit to reviewers of knives and expect them to review flashlights, which is terrible because nobody knows anything about flashlights
besides flashlight people.
Besides flashlight people, and
Yeah.
they're not hawking Olights at you.
I can't even imagine what the margins are on flashlights, though.
This is my problem. Like, it's exactly like why we won't talk about Browse Blades or what's the other one we don't like? Quartermaster, because they'll go appeal to like another whole market just to sell their shit.
Browse
Do you
had 70% off sales
Yes.
at Black Friday.
Yep.
Yeah, when you can sell your knives for 70% off, what does that say about the original margins?
I mean, they're made in the USA too.
dude, that's crazy. All that American labor.
How is he making money on something made in the US?
70% off? He's got to pay all of his employees in US
I
dollars.
don't understand. I just don't understand. He has a factory to run.
That's crazy. Shout out to him.
Shout out.
Jason Browse. Good job. I don't know how you handle all the stress.
In all honesty, he seems like he's down in the dumps, so I kind of,
I kind of don't blame him. I mean, I
Yeah.
think his knife company is maybe falling apart.
I think his personal life is falling apart.
Yeah. Well, good luck to him. I
Good
guess.
luck, Jason Browse. But yeah, that's what it's like. It's like here, knife reviewer, talk about how great our flashlight is. And they'll talk about how the machining is so nice and how it's green.
Yeah,
What?
no, it's definitely a different set of skills.
And it's like fucking a blue light that comes out, and the price to brightness level is
Yeah, but those peak lumen numbers, man. That's all
Yeah,
people
it's-
care about.
dumb. But I like Olight. I got no real beef. It's just
I have no beef. I just think the products are bad.
I just think this stuff is bad and they should feel bad.
There we go. It's not competitively priced in comparison. And it's all Chinese junk, right?
It's the same Chinese junk.
To use my favorite phrase,
Yeah.
it's just Chinese. It's
Why
all
buy
Chinese junk, so.
Why buy the Kershaw when you could buy the Riot for less money?
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
You know why? It's because you have to buy the batteries and the charger separately.
People do like being able to plug in. I mean, I got my mom an Astrolux for Christmas that you plug in with USB-C.
Yeah, the new ones. Did you get her one of those? The one that I have.
It's the FTO3. It uses like
Oh,
a
yeah.
26 whatever.
They're nice lights. They really are. And you get them. That one went on a Black Friday sale. It was $8. I was like, I missed it. I was like, I should buy 5 of these.
I think the one I got had 2 of the what's the larger batteries, 26-650s. Came with two 26-650s, and it was like $38. And it was
This
in
one, the one I'm
Astrolux.
talking about, runs on 18650s or 21700s.
Well, because my parents are using, like probably many people out there, still using like a full-size mag light that is approximately as bright as one candle.
Yeah, though. Okay,
It is
if you're
literally like a
I would
candle.
rather you go buy tons of Olights than buy a fucking mag light in 2019 or 2020
Yeah.
or
I have
Streamlight.
I have an LED mag light that was the
Ooh,
product
LED technology.
of an LED. Yeah, I bought an upgrade that said like new LED technology drop in for your mag light, which really made sense if it was like $19.99 and you were like a cop carrying a nightstick that doubled as a flashlight, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Right.
if you need to like assault someone with a flashlight, cool, but
Then you buy a Convoy L6.
yeah. Yeah, and then you don't have to
fucking
keep
bad.
mad C batteries around your house. Mm-hmm. And those
my
shits,
God.
those still exist.
Yes.
Anyway, that was a brief detour into that.
Yeah, we just went into the flash.
But I
world.
did
It's all
get
good.
2 knives at the show. I did not expect to buy anything, but we both got this one. The Rike.
We both got the same knife. Yeah.
Hold on, I have to open it because I don't remember what it is. The 1902, which is cool and very good for
know-
the price.
I love that it's so Chinesey.
I mean, it's peak Rike to me.
It's peak Reich. It looks like a mix of a Shiro 111 and a Microtech Matrix / ZT 777.
Yes. But with
it's a
very
big
nice
knife.
carbon fiber inlays. It is
It's
way bigger
beautifully
than I
made.
realized. And
It's not very heavy.
no, it's very light.
It has like colored carbon fiber inlays on the show side, and then a stray milling pattern on the lock side.
You can see where they save money.
Yes, and then they have blue anodized hardware and gold anodized accents.
And
Yeah.
it's M390. It's a nice knife. It's a step in the right direction from all the fucking junk they came out with
Yeah, there's
last
the
year.
cool stuff.
As
Yeah,
opposed to the
last
good
year's-
junk. It was bad junk.
Yeah, last year's stuff didn't pull me in, but this stuff did. I got that knife, and I also got the Alien 4, which is that pseudo-integral, another Giger style,
Replaceable blade.
biomechanical looking thing with a blade that can be removed and replaced in a titanium cage type thing.
It's a cool knife and it's well executed.
Yeah, it's-
surprisingly
you know,
so for something that's like useless.
I wouldn't say anyone go buy this knife and
No.
EDC it.
No,
But
absolutely
like
not.
for someone like me or people like me that have a shit ton of knives and or like or appreciate weird stuff.
And if they're going to sell it to you at half the price that they were usually asking.
Yeah,
That's about the only time you should buy it.
That is not the part that you should be talking about on the podcast.
Was that
But
special?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
no.
Oh.
I thought he just appreciated that I was a big Richard Wu fan.
No, the 1902 you can still get for under $300.
Yeah, it's like $250.
Which is a pretty fucking great deal. Yeah, $250 for that thing is unreal.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, the Alien 4 is not that.
It's not a knife you'd recommend.
No, I mean I would recommend it to someone who has lots of knives. But don't buy it as something that you're gonna. Don't buy it if you're gonna think you're gonna be using it, and don't baton with it.
And then the other knife that is criminally underrated, and I think it has something to do with it not being promoted, is Matt Diskin's Integral, the MP1.
Yeah,
it's awesome. I got one of those too, and I just think Matt undersold this.
Matt is also disenchanted, or
absolutely.
Is that the word I'm looking for?
I think you mean discontented.
Disconchanted. I like that. Yeah. As usual, but I love that man. So, you know what's funny is Adam. I think he messed up the hardware on his and stripped out, I think, the pivot and stuff. And he's still
Adam.
And he's still trying to get Diskin to get him some hardware for it.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. I have not found any need to touch any of the screws on this. It's integral.
I think he was trying to make a clip for it.
Oh, womp womp.
Yeah,
the clip is a little tight. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. That's my biggest complaint. Otherwise,
you know what's funny is I don't even use the clip on it because it comes in that leather pouch.
Yeah, which was nice too.
It's very nice. Yeah,
and that pouch was made by Adam Unlimited. He said.
Yeah, I think it's the same guy who does it for the touches.
Yeah. It was a very nice included thing.
Very nice thing.
Yeah.
So those are your acquisitions, right?
Yeah, and then I bought the same knife twice in a week because I had it reground and didn't like the regrind, and then bought it for cheaper.
Oh my God,
that was so baffling. That was so baffling.
Can I defend myself here? I bought this knife that I'd been looking at for a while, and then I had kind of a thicker blade than I liked. It's the Rike Knife Knight. So I found someone to do a regrind who ended up not being a scam artist, which was very cool because I just kind of cold emailed him out of nowhere.
And he basically fed it into the grind.
No, he did it. Okay,
he did a good job.
He did a good job regrinding it. I think the tip got too thin, so it had to be reshaped. And one thing that I'm super, I don't want to say OCD about, but like if a knife loses any blade length, yeah, like if you drop a knife on the tip and then it blunts and you have to sharpen that out. If it loses any blade length, I cannot stop looking and noticing the fact that it lost blade length.
I'm with you on that.
So I sold it at a loss and then bought the same knife in stock condition for $135. And I'm happy with the replacement.
That's good.
Yeah, it was a cheap knife. Let's not say cheap. It was good for the price.
That's cool.
So I'm back to the stock version, which I'm now happy with. And someone got a reground one for a ridiculous price. So good for them.
Nice.
But yeah, shout out to Transparent Knives. He does regrinds. It took 2 days. He's very communicative. The actual grind quality was very good. So I'd highly recommend him.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the extra quarter inch of knife was there. It was just you couldn't see it.
Wow.
Because it was transparent.
And podcast over.
Oh my God.
I'm done.
Yeah, let's end on that note.
Yeah, we're not even close to done.
We're not done until Levon says we're done.
It's been like 5 hours already.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want.
Lots of contributions from Brian. I got a couple knives at the show, and I got some knives just before the show, so I'm gonna include those in the acquisition section here. I'll skip over the two Rikes because you guys already know we talked about them. But another production company was there that I didn't expect to see, and that was Cheburkov knives. Mm-hmm. And they had a lot of stuff with varying degrees of price. So one knife that I wanted to get from them before I even knew they were at the show was something called the Strizh, or at least that's what it's called in Russian, which I really like to say. And they call it the Swift. It's called the Swift. And they do a small one and a large one. And they're usually in like the $300 price range, but they had these one-off versions at the show with C-Tech, carbon fiber, and other types of inlays. So I picked one up with a white C-Tech inlay, and I really like it. It's a really cool knife. It's on washers. Jake already had it apart in the hotel room. But I really like that knife. And the other thing that I purchased is I can't remember. Oh wait, yeah, it's the Culprit, the Skiff Culprit.
Oh yeah,
which we talked about.
Which is a ridiculous knife.
It's amazing. It's beautiful. I've actually been carrying that a lot, and I actually put a little scratch on the backspacer, and it's driving me crazy.
Nice.
But before that, I actually had a couple knives come through. One of them being the Pena Trapper.
Yep.
What are you laughing at?
No, I said yes, because we went over that one earlier.
You made like a squeak or something.
That was probably microphone sounds.
I don't know if it was, but also the Alliance
Just squeaking.
You squeaked. Yeah.
Oh, that was probably my chair.
Maybe your chair. I also got the Alliance Designs, Christensen Knife Works, Bangarang.
That's the name of it?
It's called the Bangarang. Well, look, I mean, you gotta admit, like, what other knife names are left?
That's true. The Bangarang was not taken.
As long as he follows it up with a Rufio, I'm happy. Not a roofie, but a Rufio. And that one's got the micarta scales, so it's immediately popular.
Yes, people like that. It's hip with the youth.
I got a Para 3 in CTS-XHP.
I can't
for some reason.
I can't follow all of these at this point.
I literally didn't remember ordering that.
There's been so many Para 3 sprints recently. I just have lost track.
So you guys know I don't drink that often. I used to like to go out and have a drink or something. And I was out with my friend, and we were at a bar, and I drank a lot of Jameson and ginger ale. And I think somewhere around the third or fourth Jameson and ginger ale, I must have ordered this knife because I had no recollection of ordering it.
I wish that could happen to me one day.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty fun. I got this package in the mail. I was like, oh look, it's a fucking Sprint Run Spider Cup.
I wish I could surprise myself with a knife like that, but I can't say I've blacked out and bought a knife before.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a blackout, but I remembered once I got it, but I forgot that I had ordered it. I guess that's still a blackout.
Yeah, I think it's definition, man.
No, because you don't, if you black out, you don't remember it at all. I remembered that I did it.
I've only blacked out once, and I woke up and I was sitting on a toilet, and I had not ordered any knives, so that's pretty disappointing.
That is a shame.
Yeah. Was it a public toilet?
No.
Oh.
No.
Because that's a lot worse.
Yes.
What do you think I am, some kind of fucking animal?
You're still the youngest of all of us. So of all of us to have that happen to them, it would probably be you.
Yeah. I hope those days are behind me, but, they might not be.
They might not be. I also got the North Arms knife Skaha in carbon fiber. I think I was on the list for that for probably about a year, so...
That's a long time to wait for that knife.
Yes.
For a $200 knife.
It's not going to win the beauty contest.
No.
At all. But it is a very, very, very good knife.
It does win the power to weight ratio contest.
Power to weight ratio.
You could drag race that thing. You just get groceries with it.
That's right. That's right. It's like the Lotus Elise of knives.
That's
Lotus
not a bad
Exige
comparison.
S240, yes.
As trite as car comparisons are, that's a pretty good one.
Yes.
Except for I like how the Elise looks and the Exige. I do not like how that knife looks.
You would enjoy driving the Lotus because you would fit in there.
No, I like how the Lotus looks. I do not like how the Skaha looks.
Oh, I understand what you're saying.
It's a polarizing appearance, I would say.
As a knife, it's fantastic.
Yes,
it works really great. I'm not a fan of that, like the milling lines on there. I feel like
I get why they have to do it, right? Because it's CNC the blade saves time.
Yeah, I mean, how does Brian fucking do it?
Not spending a lot of money and time on tooling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mad high tooling costs, probably.
I guess. That's a fucking cool knife, though. And my favorite of them, that was a surprise, and I think I talked about it on the pre-show for the Knife Nuts Extras for our Patreon supporters. is the Monterey Bay Knives Sprocket, which is that McGinnis design. And I haven't. That's one I've carried the most of all of these.
Who's behind Monterey Bay Knives?
Sanford. He's what's his dealer? He's a dealer. It was Carmela Cutlery.
Oh, okay, yep.
And his other business partner is Ray Laconico.
Oh, yeah, this is the people that made the Laconico, the little one, the min pin and stuff. The one where it felt like everyone was making a version of one of these knives.
Well, you know what? That I'm gonna talk
But the price
about
on these is very good.
Yeah, for $220, I think it's probably one of the best values. I mean, we talked about the American-made stuff. Mm-hmm. This knife is better. It's just a better knife.
Oh, in comparison to the McGinnis Pro Line stuff.
Oh, it's better than I think it's better than McGinnis.
I don't know when you said American.
I'm sorry.
Made.
Yeah. I should have been more specific. I was talking about like in the likes of the Three Rivers stuff and things like that, and the Skaha. You can spend $200 on those, and they're very, very nice. But in terms of what you're getting for your money, that Sprocket is quite a good knife.
It has the drop shot action people like.
It has the drop shot action. It's ground thin. It's finished really nice. It's machined really good. The action is spectacular. I don't have any problems with it. It's relatively unadorned too. There's not a lot of
there's not a lot
shit on it.
I mean, it looks like a McGinnis design. It's not like McGinnis usually goes for crazy.
But it's on
shit.
Bearings, not on washers.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
I think my only complaint, and this is just across the board on so many knives these days, is just the lock bar tension is very light. I remember that from flipping yours. Clearly, that's what people like because it's
what's
popular.
funny is he.
That has to do with the wiggles.
It does have a lot to do with the wiggles.
He actually sent me because he sent me two of them to check out, the carbon fiber and the titanium.
Yeah.
And I like the carbon fiber one more just overall as a package, but it had that little bit of detent play.
Oh, yep.
I think it was just a matter of where that insert was placed or how it was manufactured. But I sent them back, and he sent me a new carbon fiber one for the one that I purchased, and it is perfect.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because I think the titanium one, the action was really, really good. So this one is more akin to that.
Yeah.
Can I interrupt and just ask what you guys paid for your F3Ws again?
I paid $31.
Okay, good.
For like a brown aluminum one.
The titanium, for the titanium ones are a little more. They're like 70, I think.
All right.
And then aluminum ones they're like all like $30 or something.
Yeah.
I'm close to getting one. If I had found a great deal, I might have. But
Jake,
I'm
gonna
need something like that.
I'm gonna give you mine. My aluminum one you can have.
Look at that.
I've got 3 FWs now and another one coming. So you can have my aluminum one. It has neutral tint.
He's flush with flashlights.
Oh, it's got to be warm. So at least warm it up for me physically.
Yuck. Yeah.
Road transfer it to me.
Honestly, the one thing about them is they get really, really hot. Very quickly.
No, Jake, you don't need to worry about it being warmed up. Just turn it on turbo for half a second, and it's already unpleasant to hold.
That's true.
That was unbelievable how fast that thing gets hot.
Do you know what my go-to flashlight is for like dog walking? Well, now I realize that I have headlamps, which are much more convenient for this. But for the Convoy S1s, is that what they're called?
Yeah, Jake sent me one of those. They're like $10, right?
They're fucking awesome, especially if you go in through and pick a better. You don't spend $10, you spend like 15 to 20. You get a way better light. I have 3 color-coded ones with each with a different emitter. Let's not even go down this path. Let's just talk about. I still have knives that I've acquired. So on top of that, I also got. Did I talk about the Olamic Soloist that Eugene sent me?
No.
I love that thing.
Dude, it's so good.
It has so many things that I don't like about knives.
Exactly.
And I love the whole package anyway.
It's an interesting lead-in.
It's true. If you described this to me on paper or even showed me a picture of it,
I'd be like, no.
I'd be like, ew, no, I don't want that.
Ew.
Yeah, but it is so good.
It's very big.
I don't think he's getting it back. So if Eugene is listening to this, just I hope you're not listening to it because you're not getting your knife.
I would also steal it.
It's
really nice.
It's big.
It's a huge knife.
It is very big.
Huge knife. And what's funny is that they still use Fox knives to manufacture all their parts, and then they're assembled and ground here. So, interesting story. How you can take the literal Italy out of the knife.
Oh, that's mean.
I also got what the fuck was that?
What's happening?
I heard like a baby.
Jake? Jake, did the babies actually leave?
I'm baby free for 24 hours.
Oh, Christ. Someone go check on Jake. He's going to OD.
You won't even believe what I'm going to do in this place.
Sleep?
I already had...
There's going to be babies everywhere.
A week.
Yuck.
I already had a week and a half
What the fuck?
Setback for knife, like actual touching knives to grinders, fixing mill and lathe and electrical problems, so there might be like steel dust being made in this 24 hour. I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'm going to work straight through the night and get as much done as I possibly can, and maybe even like make a fucking dashi or something just for the sake of getting something.
You're on the clock. It's 4:53 right now, so
yeah,
we better end this soon.
Burning, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I will be amazed.
Go through your acquisitions so I can go make something.
I'll be impressed, dude. Do it.
Did anyone get any knives from Jack the Cock?
Dude, I didn't put pictures up yet because it's a whole fucking story, but I ended up having to basically like do a YouTube series minus all the filming and editing and overdubbing, rebuilding
Minus
my
any
entire,
of the YouTubing.
my entire
Fuck.
lathe, like from front to fin. I had this chatter that was so bad that I literally could not even use the parts coming off of it, and it was like I checked from the least difficult all the way up to the most difficult, which is like removing the entire table and refinishing the surface and everything, and it got put back together late last night, and it runs and it's smooth and it's nice, and I'm like, fuck all this. I'm so tired of everything else breaking while I'm just trying to, I don't know, build a thing to
knife make?
shape a knife. Yeah, well, I was working on the small wheel thing, and then 16 other things broke. But
Well, maybe I'll come visit you tomorrow.
I'm very, very close.
Back to the acquisitions, but it's good to hear that your things are coming along, Jake.
I'm close.
How many fucking acquisitions you got?
I got a lot.
He gets a lot of shit these days.
You know what I didn't get is a motherfucking dagger.
You had your chance.
R.I.P.
You just weren't able to.
I'm sorry, what?
You couldn't remortgage your house?
I had my chance.
Whatever it took. Yeah.
If you really cared, you would
Whatever it
remortgage
takes.
your house.
Yeah, you should have remortgaged your house.
I had my chance. Now I'm mad. Anyway, back to the acquisitions. I got the Wingman EDC Yureis. They're fucking awesome.
Is that the one that's
The Santiago.
Yeah, the Hokkaido guy.
Which I wasn't. No, that's not the Hokkaido guy.
Is it not the same guy?
No, dude. That's Barker.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Ugh.
Santiago Knives does the battle songs.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
They are fucking cool. I wasn't really sure how I was going to feel about them in pictures because it looked like the proportions were off. But in person, they are awesome, and I like them. I think I like them better than the mini Dr. Death kickstop.
I was happy that I finally got to handle one of the mini Dr. Deaths. I wish it was slightly bigger, but I get that they're doing it so that it won't be.
But they are going to do. I was talking to Sako, and they're going to do a 3 3/4 version of this knife, which will be fucking badass.
That makes sense. This looks like it would scale up.
But it doesn't. I thought it was going to be too small, but it works really nice.
Oh, 3-inch blade. I mean, I guess they're really leaning into the EDC part of the Wingman thing.
It's
Makes
true.
sense. Smaller knives.
And the details on it are really, really nice. Like that propeller pivot, they actually give you the tool.
Which is a little bomb.
Which is a
pretty
little bomb
great.
that unscrews. It's so cool. And then when you close it, you see where the little two, they look like P-51 Mustangs. And you close it, the two little planes show up in the first hole on the frame.
Oh, that's a nice little attention.
It's nice. Yeah. It's just like,
that's cool.
It's neat. I'm really impressed with it. And normally I'm not a big fan of Tanto profiles for EDC, but it's ground nice and thin. It's upswept, so you still get a lot of belly, and it's 3 inches of cutting edge. It's 3.25 inches of blade, I would say. So it's really well done.
Is this Riot?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well,
and not
a
conglomeration of shops that Riot uses.
What?
It is straight up Riot.
That sounds like a serious allegation.
No, it's not an allegation. It's just how things are done. There's a lot of shops in China, and certain ones are contracted through Riot. Riot may have some exclusive stuff for certain types of things, but at the end of the day, the Guangdong province is literally just a whole bunch of knife-making little shops.
Yeah, Yangjiang City?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Were you just fixing his pronunciation?
No. The city...
I was not.
The city that Riot is located out of is where all the knife companies are. I assume the whole province they're in does more stuff. Yeah. And then the city they're in is the one that has every knife company.
And that's how it's not just Riot, that's how every knife company works. Yeah. If you were to ask Alliance who manufactures their knives, they're not going to tell you Riot. They actually have separate contracts for people that are doing handles, blades, whatever, and assembly. Same thing for Monterey Bay knives.
Is this just for the cheaper stuff that they're doing this? Because those are both at lower price points.
It's allowed them to make them at lower price points, but not compromise a lot of the quality.
Interesting.
So it's interesting, and it's Riot. There's a certain level of quality that comes from something that's branded as a Riot produced knife. I would say it's comparable. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just before we get any confusion, the what's it called? The Yurei is produced by Riot proper. If you talk about the Alliance, I don't know, what's the one I just got? The Bangarang. I would imagine that they're using some of the same places that Riot uses for their build. You can tell by certain, the grind, you can tell it has that, like we were talking about before. It probably has machine bevels that were then put on a jig and finished on a grinder. And some of the build and some of the materials are ones that I've known that Riot is able to acquire more often. So that's a new thing that I think that's happening within the industry. People are getting smarter about how they're choosing their manufacturer. As a matter of fact, Best Tech doesn't use the same at least far as I know, doesn't use the same contracted manufacturers each time. So Best Tech is like a middleman.
Whoa, the plot thickens.
Yeah, that's just how this stuff works. If you talk to an American machine shop, they're probably outsourcing a lot of the stuff too. You know what I mean? So it's not any different than I think any sort of manufacturing works anywhere in the world. It's just a lot of it concentrated in one area of the country.
Yeah. I don't know. I think people tend to think of a manufacturer making every part of their knives. Well, not every part, but maybe not the screws, but
let me ask you this too. It's name another industry where the manufacturer of the product.
It's a good point.
I find it so weird that this community is so not concentrated, but so fixated on that. Yeah. That it's the make or break of the knife. Not
most people don't know that Apple, the iPhone's made by Foxconn. Maybe they do because that's one of the most ubiquitous products in the world.
Sure.
But what about Magna Steyr, the Austrian company that assembles cars for Mercedes?
Yeah, exactly. Or ZF makes transmissions and they put it in every other car. So.
Yeah, I guess anytime there's an enthusiast community, people obsess over stuff like that. But certainly not with tech. People do not care about what fucking place in Vietnam assembles your Samsung phone.
That's a very strange thing, and you see it in the flashlight stuff too, because there's manufacturers for that, like Lumentop and Astrolux. Those are all core manufacturers. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So it leaks into everything. Light leaks.
Yeah. All right. Well,
anyway,
this has been a very long episode.
It feels like it's been a very... Well, I feel like we also needed to make up for lost
Absolutely.
time.
We need to give stuff away, though, don't we?
You know what? No one has claimed that the Tuya Knives Hive. So I think we've given it enough time.
You could redraw that. Do we have something else lined up for a giveaway? I don't know.
I haven't thought about it yet.
That's not even like a little...
I know.
Thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, it's a
fucking sick fucking knife.
Yeah.
We're trying to give you like a $300 knife here.
It's pretty legit.
Let's I'm redrawing. It's been months.
Well, I have the people up. So Jake, if you want to go to random.org, and how many people do we have? 16.
Gotcha.
These names don't change very much, so I feel like almost everyone is going to have a chance to win one, just by like statistics alone.
Yeah, seriously. Like, this is fucking great. I understand $25 a month is a lot, but at this point, you're probably getting your money's worth.
Yeah.
Or at least the chances of getting your money's worth are pretty high.
All right. I'm going to generate. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Never say that again.
Please don't generate to me.
I'm gonna generate again.
He's gonna be generating by himself tonight.
What was it, Jake?
14.
14.
And I'm
no.
Instagram now.
Wait, really? 14?
Yeah, you want to do it again?
No, it's just I feel like he's won every single one.
No.
I
feel like that number
Instagram handle Pip Corona, Jesse.
Oh my God, yeah.
he's won.
There
are 16 people, and he is the 14th one.
Did he win last? Yeah, but he didn't win last time.
No, but he's won before.
He's won stuff.
Yeah, he's won stuff.
Yeah, but there's 16 people, so you got a good chance.
The way I see it is like, we can't rig it. It's not like we're rigging it.
Yes, otherwise your mom would win every single one.
Yeah, my mom has never won, and if my mom wins, she's getting the knife. I've decided this. She's contributed enough to this, so...
Yes.
My mom has never won, which is weird.
Yeah. Okay, so, Jesse, Pip Corona.
Also a flashlight geek, so I'm happy he's getting it.
Yeah. All right, like, Tuya Knives going. Someone want to make the joke here?
Like,
it's
what's
going Tuya. Yeah. All right. Well, that is. If there's ever been a clearer sign that we need to end, it's that. Also, the fact that we started this podcast when it was light out, it's dark.
Well, it's also fucking winter time. I don't know if anyone ever told you how this works, but
true. But it makes it feel like it was a long time.
It does. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to our patrons. Remember, if you are a patron and you want to get in on that, we give away a knife pretty much every other episode at this point.
No, it's every episode.
Is it every episode?
We do one every episode.
Well,
once a month you get entered into a giveaway.
Yeah,
we just haven't had people claim one in a while.
And if you want to support the channel, you can buy some merch. We have some cool T-shirts up. Remember, coupon code Wiggles gets you
free shipping.
I want to thank our sponsors. We're going to list them off real quick. So PVK Vegas, St. Nick's Knives. I'm not going to talk about the other one because they've sort of fallen off to the wayside. And who else do we have?
I think that's it.
That's probably it right now. Yeah. So if you want to sponsor us, we have an opening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. A knife company-sized opening.
A knife company-sized opening.
Ready for you guys to generate.
I think they have a lot of stuff to worry about right now, so I'm not going to...
The least of their worries is if they sponsor a podcast.
Correct. All right. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Later.
Thanks, Jake. See, we don't even need to tell you now.
So this needs to close out with the black metal.